Welcome to CSC Chat, the streaming broadcast that provides a refreshing and insightful look at events, activities, and people within the Chadron State College community. I'm your host, Julian Berrian, Associate Professor of Communication Arts. With us today is Chadron State College's newly hired head coach of the men's basketball team. He is a former starting college basketball point guard who has, up to this point, amassed a career coaching record of 176 wins, 94 losses, has led his former squad, the USAO Drovers of Oklahoma, to 5 NAIA tournament appearances, a Sooner Athletic Conference Championship, and a Sooner Athletic Conference Tournament Championship. Moreover, he twice earned the distinction of Sooner Athletic Conference Coach of the Year. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Coach Chris Francis. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Julian, appreciate you having me. This is awesome.
Before we do anything else, I'd like to ask this question. This is probably a burning question, which is, when you were first offered the position of men's basketball head coach here at Chadron State College, what about our athletics program in general, our college community in general, or the city of Chadron in general made you say, yes, this is the place for me?
Great opportunity. As a young coach, you always want to make sure to take that next step in your career. And Chadron had a great opportunity for me and my family. And just being on campus, meeting the faculty and staff, seeing the facilities, and meeting President Patterson it was awesome. It was kind of a no-brainer. The RMAC is considerably one of the best Division II conferences in the country, and so that had a lot to do with it as well. But just the town Chadron too. Everything they sold to me or told me on my visit came true, and so my family has made a great transition. My kids are loving school, and so far it's been amazing. It's been exactly what we was looking for, and we're excited to get the season rolling.
Okay, excellent. Now, I understand that during your college days, you played point guard and you were the team captain of your college team.
Yeah.
And so that made you the floor general.
Exactly.
Of your team.
Yeah.
And as a floor general, you probably had the mind of a coach.
Yeah.
Correct?
I think so. I think that's kind of what led me to where I am today. And so, correct.
And so that being said, being that you had the mind of a coach throughout your college career, and this question was brought to us by one of my co-producers, Aaron Dockery. He wanted to know, since you were the floor general of your college team, and had a lot of time to think about coaching and what you wanted done, what is your current overarching coaching philosophy?
Yeah, so as a player, you go through practices, you learn different things from coaching staffs, and knowing that I wanted to get into this business, you kind of pick and choose what you want to take with you and what you learn. And so as a player, you want to always be in a system that allows you to showcase your opportunities, your ability to score the ball, whether it's defensive, offensive, whatever you can do as a player. You want to play for a coach that you can feel comfortable with. And so taking that into my coaching field, I've always had I always like to develop these relationships with the young men. And so if they understand that you care about them, and you want the best for them, they'll run through a brick wall for you. And so we always want to put in a system that allows our guy to have fun on the court, allows them to get after it defensively, allows them to showcase their ability and their skill set. And, we want our guys to dream big. We want them to graduate with a degree and go on and be a pro in whatever field they choose, whether it's a doctor or communications, or actually being a professional basketball player. And so we've had a few over our time, and that's what we want for them. We want them to continue to, develop as people, as young men, but also chase their dreams.
So you consider yourself a player's coach.
Exactly.
Because, you have played the game.
Yeah.
Well, that brings me to the next question. You have to miss something about being on the hardwood. Do you miss being on the hardwood playing? Course, and what do you miss about that?
Yeah, no, just the competitiveness and me being able to, as a player, being able to control the outcome of the game, right? As a coach, you're on the sideline and you're kind of handcuffed. Obviously, you do stuff that will allow them to win games and putting them in the position to win games. But as a coach, you want to get out there because you feel that you can impact the game on the court, whether it's defensively or offensively. And so I just kind of miss that experience or the, just the opportunity to control the game while I'm playing and not just on the sidelines. And so I just messed the butt, as a player. There's great memories. We want to have a great student experience here at Chadron, and the bus trips, the hotel stays, just the meeting at coach's house and all that stuff as a student athlete. That's what I really remember, and just building the brotherhood with your teammates. And so those things I miss. I still kind of have a part in it as a coach, but as a player, I really miss those fun engagements.
Well put. And by the way, one of my co-producers, Austin Glanz, had that question for you.
Oh, so nice. I appreciate that,
came
Austin.
To us courtesy of Austin.
Yes.
So thank you, Austin, for that. Now, since basketball is in your blood, seemingly, right? It's your lifeblood. Yeah. I'm not going to say that you eat, sleep, and breathe basketball, but you think a lot about it.
Of course.
And so that begs the question, who or what, and you love to play it, but who or what inspired you to want to coach? Was there a pivotal person or a pivotal game or a pivotal event that made you say, hey, you know what? Once I hang up my sneakers, I want to run the show? Yeah,
no, great question. It's just, as growing up, my family and that background never had, we never had coaches in our family or anything like that. So my path is kind of unique when it comes to getting in the business. And so, when I was done playing, it's something I love to do. I wasn't quite good enough. I didn't think to go overseas or play professionally, but I knew I wanted to be around it as long as I could. And so, coaching is the best way to do it. And getting up every day and not having something to look forward to really bugged me as a player. And so, now as a coach, you have the next season or the next game or the next practice, you're always looking forward to something. And so that kind of inspired me, but also, just having great coaches, great mentorships, when I was a player, really showed me what it was about kind of being a coach. It wasn't always about the wins or losses. It's bigger than basketball, and we always kind of relate that to our players because, it's all about relationships and molding young men into being the best they can. And so I wanted to have that big of an impact, on the game, but then also our student athletes. And so, once I saw that they had, my career was ending, I wanted to be involved in basketball as long as I could. And, my journey started, as soon as I graduated from, Rogers State University, and then I got into coaching and, a few years down the road, now I'm here in Chadron, Nebraska. Awesome. And we're glad to have you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, was there ever a point, and I'm sure there are times, when you're on the floor coaching and you find yourself saying things that you heard perhaps one of your coaches say and you thought you would never say it? Yeah. What are some of those things that you hear yourself telling your players that, and then you think to yourself, oh my God, did I just say that? Yeah, no, that's a great question. And playing, you always would hear, my coaching staff would always just, yell a few things. One of them was, I'd bump my knee and be on the ground or rolling around like I'm hurt. And I could always hear, and I still hear it till this day, is get up, get up, get up. And so I catch myself doing that with our players a lot of times. It's like, hey, get up, get up, get up, let's go. And so that's one phrase. The other phrase is next play mentality. As a player, you're like, man, that's so cliche. What do you mean next play, right? But then as you get older, you understand, like, you got to have that next play mentality, because if not, you can catch yourself worrying about what happened about 5 minutes ago. And so next play mentality is something that we preach and we coach daily. Crash the glass. That's stuff that, as a coach, we preach daily. But as a player, I've heard all these sayings and phrases, through my 4 years of playing college basketball. And it's like, what are they saying that for? I know that, right? But then, as you get older, it's like, well, that's what needs to happen. And as a player, you don't really think that stuff through. But those are a few phrases that I've heard and caught myself saying, and stuff too, like just, drinking coffee, before every game, stuff like that my coaching staff did. They were, as a player, I looked and thought they were older, but they wasn't old. But they would be drinking coffee and just eating donuts in the morning, getting up bright and early in the morning. And I would like, man, I'm not going to do that. But now, you catch myself up early, drinking coffee, reading notes. And then it's like, okay, well, now the roles are reversed. So pretty interesting.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you have to burn the candle at both ends sometimes because you're preparing for your first season here as a coach. So I get it. Well, tell us when the season's going to start.
So November 8th is our first official game. That will be in Laredo, Texas, pretty far south from here. We'll play Texas A&M International, and then we'll follow that game on November 9th with Texas A&M Kingsville. It's what they call the RMAC Crossover Classic. And so we'll cross over with the Lone Star Conference and play those two teams. And then we'll make our way back home on November 22nd. Will be our first home game against Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And so we look forward to playing in the Chacoin and getting that place rocking. And we definitely need you guys to support the students and the student athletes in the community. So we can't wait to get home and play in front of our home crowd.
Awesome. You heard that, folks. Come out and support the Eagles. Go Eagles, soar Eagles.
Yes.
Come to some home games. Try to make some away games as well. We all need your support. I know the Eagles would love your support.
Yes.
Well, we're almost out of time, but I'd be remiss if I did not ask you this one last question brought to us by another one of my co-producers, Mekenna Fisher, who wants to know that since the job of a coach is seemingly never done, how do you balance work and family life?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's something that I always have on my forefront because I have 3 boys and a beautiful wife, and she's awesome. She's we're all from Oklahoma, so this move was a big move for us, but it's felt comfortable. It's felt good. But I try to leave basketball in the gym. I try to leave work in the gym. I rarely bring my laptop home. That's one way that I can kind of limit myself from watching practice film or watching other film. Is just leaving my laptop at the house or at the office and going home and enjoying my time with my family. And then as everybody lays down and goes to sleep, I'm a night owl, and so if I need extra work, then I usually wait till about midnight to start working again and get up in the morning, enjoy the kids before we have to leave or before they go to school. But that's something that at a young age that I learned. I don't know if you learn it, but you just value it more to leave the work at home, and go home and make sure to not really talk about basketball or do anything work related. And so, but there's sometimes that, after a tough loss or a long night that, I go home and my wife really, helps me, get through to the next day. She'll listen to me vent all night if I need to. But I try not to, right? I try to leave it at the gym, and it's, I've got, my boys are awesome. I have an 8, 4, and a 1-year-old. And so as soon as I walk in the door, to be honest, it's daddy's home. I'll get hugs, and it's pretty easy to forget about what's going on at the gym or at the workplace whenever I get that warm welcome. So having a family that we do and a big family, that kind of helps out a lot to really focus on them when I'm at home.
I get it. You need that balance.
Yes.
You need just to keep you sane.
Yes.
We all need the balance to keep us sane.
Yes.
Coach Francis, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to have you back perhaps near the end of the season to give us a recap.
Of course.
And we'd like to thank you, the listeners of KJZC, for tuning in to this exclusive CSC Chat interview, co-produced by Taylor Burch, Aaron Dockery, Mekenna Fisher, Austin Glanz, and John Prouty.